But we're still waiting on the lab analysis of Lara Bingall's tears.
Thanks, Dr. Saylor. You're watching our special round-the-clock coverage of Lara Bingle. We now cross live to Barbara Baker, who was bunkered down outside the Bingle bungalow in Bondi. Barbara?
Yes, Dan. An insider link to Bingle leaked to a journalist who heard from a blogger who heard from a local taxi driver and informed me that the Bingle family may now be suing Michael Clark.
Barbara, I'm going to have to interrupt you there because the results of our phone poll are in. We surveyed 100 men named Michael Clark. 12% said hypothetically they would call off the engagement too. 88% said I'm Michael Clark without an E. Please stop ringing me. For the political implications, I'm joined now by Labor Party stalwart Bob Ellis. Bob, what impact will this breakup have on the federal election?
Well, my early discussions with party insiders suggest it'll have a fairly minimal impact, but like I said...
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cut you off there. I'm just getting word there's been a development at our Bingle Live forum.
Thanks, Dan. One at a time, people. Madam, your comment.
Yes, look, I'm a single mother and I think Kevin Rudd should sack Michael Clark.
And you, sir?
I'm angry.
And you, sir?
I'm Asian.
Back to you, Dan.
As we now show live footage of houses that Lara Bingle once lived in. Let's see what Twitter is saying. UR4Nut says Lara Bingle is hot, Michael Clark is not, and there are 300 tweets linking to an ironic downfall video where Hitler gets angry that Michael Clark missed a cricket game. Meanwhile, there is still no official word from Obama about how this will affect his Australian visit. Stay tuned to the Bingle Bungle broadcast. We'll be right back with back-to-back experts right after this.
Around the nation and the world, if you happen to be pirating us, welcome to Hungry Beast. Tonight, Elmo Keep finds out what happens to your digital identity after you die. Victoria Dynamite explores the real science behind rising sea levels.
Within just 10 years, our backyards could all look like this.
And Ali Russell takes a look at the world of intersex, people born with both male and female anatomy.
I pretty much see myself as genderless. What my body is what I am.
But first, get ready to hope. President Barack Obama will be hitting town soon with more entourage and equipment than a stadium rock tour. Luckily, the Prime Minister's department has had more than a little help preparing for the Big O's arrival.
When we got the call from the White House saying they were going to be sending their best man, we were understandably anxious.
Hey, who's ready for O Week? Obama! Obama!
But it's obviously in our interests as much as his that this visit gets a lot of positive media coverage.
Yeah, I was hoping we could hug a koala, but not the same koala that George Bush hugged. I want a much more progressive bear.
We've made some cosmetic changes around the place, nothing too drastic.
We noticed when your Prince William came, you put a little Union Jack in the corner of your flag. We thought that was a really nice touch, so we'd like to do the same.
For David, it's all about sending the right image home.
Wow. This is incredible. Can we take it to Canberra? Hugh Jackman here. Sniper, sniper, sniper. Yeah, I like that. That's real nice. Nicole Kidman here. Could it be in khaki? Basketball hoop here. Less Law and Order, more Crocodile Hunter. Any surviving members of the Irwin family, they go here.
It's great to see David so enthusiastic about Australia.
I've been here 3 days. I have not seen one black person. So if we could just get some black people.
We've also learnt quite a bit about protocol.
When the President meets the Prime Minister, perhaps they could hug to show unity.
No. Oh, Steve, take pictures. This is great. Universal healthcare at work. What is this place called again?
It's Medicare.
No, like this place.
Oh, Australia.
Australia, yeah. It's brilliant. It's perfect.
We've bent over backwards for David, but it's worth it. I'm sure when they go home, they'll remember just how much we've always done for them.
Great job, Lara. Great job.
It's Laura.
Yeah, good for you.
Okay.
Stuff said this week. I think we're both deeper than normal people. What they think and how they feel. Miley Cyrus on why she and her Australian boyfriend Liam Hemsworth click so well. Mamamia.com.au, 11th of March 2010.
I'll have the tight shorts on. I've only put on 7 kilos, so I'm looking all right. I'm 46, but everyone says I look 31. Warwick Kappa on plans to play AFL for the struggling Tasmanian club Commandy, the Weekend Australian, 13th March 2010.
Due to the high volume of inquiries we are currently experiencing, we are unable to take your call. Please call back later. UK civil servants who are told to pretend to be answering machines then hang up on their callers to cope with limited staff numbers during a national strike. The Guardian, 9th of March 2010.
If you use the internet or email, there are two yous. The you that exists in the real world and the you that lives online. Only one of you will die. What'll happen to the other? Elmo Keep reports from the afterlife.
Today is a terrible day for Nick. He's dead. But it's not that. The problem is digital Nick, the undead Nick, who's still rampaging around on the internet. Real Nick left a will, ensuring a safe home for his Transformers figurines and mint-condition Super Nintendo games. Unfortunately, he didn't think about his online self. And now, Real Nick can do nothing to stop his family meeting digital Nick. So if you have a web-based email account or a social network profile, then you're leaving behind you a trail of your thoughts, some of them private thoughts, which could live on the web forever. The more active you are online, the bigger your digital self. So that's every email you've ever sent, every photo you've ever uploaded, every video you've ever shared, no matter how privately, could all be available to your next of kin after you die. After US Marine Justin Ellsworth was killed in Iraq in 2004, his father requested the password for his emails. Yahoo refused to cough it up. Ellsworth Sr. took the company to court where a judge ordered it to provide access. Digital legacy is such a new idea that not all web companies have a policy on it yet, and those that do differ in rights and ethics. Yahoo will only hand over password details once compelled to by a court. Facebook will memorialise your page, leaving everything up but not allowing any changes or new comments. Gmail and Hotmail will both give over your details to your family as long as they receive a death certificate and proof of your relationship to the deceased. MySpace, however, has no specific policy.
I don't care.
As technologies move so quickly, the law is often slow to keep up. In the US, some law firms are advising their clients to leave instruction on their digital selves in their wills, but not here in Australia. We spoke to 10 firms and none had even thought about it yet, but they did all say, thanks for the heads up. As more and more of our lives take place online, it's likely that we'll see the rise of the digital undertakers. Companies employed to scour the web after you die to eradicate the more sensitive parts of your online self, ensuring that you leave the impression you want to in the everlasting digital afterlife. But until then, and now let us all remember Nick for who he really was.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, but we have with us lip-reading expert Sue Hurley. Sue, what do you think Lara is saying here?
Her lips are clearly forming an I sound, so we can assume she's saying, I'm hurting.
And what about the body language in this photo?
Well, I wouldn't want to speculate.
Then let's throw to our live speculation expert.
The smell of freshly baked cookies.
Of a home-cooked roast.
And fresh-cut grass.
All have unique memories attached to them.
But they can also make you want to buy stuff. Believe it or not, every time you go shopping, there's a chance that the store you're in is pumping fragrances into the air to keep you there. All around Australia and the world, there are companies whose specific goal is to make targeted scents that will encourage you to spend your cash.
And it works too. In Germany, they found that scent marketing made people 82% more likely to part with the Deutschmarks.
Yeah, anything else?
No.
How about now?
And it's a growing trend. Singapore Airlines is injecting the smell of flowers and bamboo into their hot towels, and Rolls-Royce spray the scent of the 1965 Silver Cloud in their newer models to get that classic roller smell.
Now, we could spend time debating the ethics of subliminal scent marketing.
So we did with the sales manager for Scent Air, Gary Diamond.
Are there any ethical considerations for you in scent marketing?
Good question. Yeah.
But it is designed essentially to manipulate people.
Not at all, not from our perspective. As I said before, it serves the same purpose as having televisions in a store, to make a complete package for retailers these days.
Fair enough.
But the real question is, how do they do it?
So we found this guy.
The guru of smell marketing, or smarketing for short. C. Russell Brumfield, the author of Whiff, The Revolution of Scent Communication in the Information Age.
Scents are tattooed on the brain. You have an experience when you're 12 years old, and it's experiential. That smell is then, you've kept it for life. That, I believe, is the biggest marketing tool we have.
The really surprising part is which smells have what effect on your brain.
For instance, talcum powder gives you the sense of security, taking you back to those nurturing, motherly times.
And guess what happens when you mix apple and cucumber? God only knows why you'd try.
There's even a scent to increase male sexual arousal. Have a guess what it is.
Lavender and pumpkin pie, obviously.
As soon as you start playing with these scents in retail spaces, you get to interesting effects on consumers. For starters, you get the FMOT, or first moment of truth. Maximum FMOT is attained by matching the right smell with the right product, improving the first impression the item makes on consumers. For instance, Maya pumps in sweet, youthful scents to get teenage girls into the basement.
Secondly, and more importantly, there's the flow state. See, the smell causes you to lose all sense of time, to get lost in that moment, so you have no idea why you bought this. What is this?
So the next time you walk past a Sony store and smell blood orange vanilla cedar, you'll know that's their attempt at getting women to buy electronics.
And as much as this whole thing has a whiff of, pseudoscience, everyone's getting down with
Nike,
it. McDonald's,
Pepsi,
Coke,
Lexus,
Toys R Us,
the Museum of Sydney,
and even weapons manufacturer Raytheon.
The moral of the story,
be prepared. 2 glass vials dipped in holy water and supposedly containing the spirits of an old man and little girl sold for just under $2,200 at auction. The ghosts were put up for sale by a New Zealand lady who is donating the proceeds to charity after an exorcist fee has been deducted. nzherald.co.nz. Extreme right-wing activity has mushroomed under President Obama's tenure, according to a recent study by a law centre in the US. The report claims the number of anti-government patriot groups being monitored by authorities has more than tripled to 512 in the last year. 127 of these are classed as paramilitary groups. Mail and Guardian online. And a survey testing children's science knowledge has shown 1 in 10 British kids thinks the Queen invented the telephone. Half that number thought Luke Skywalker, or possibly Richard Branson, had been the first person to set foot on the moon. BBC News.
Last year, South African runner Caster Semenya won gold at the World Athletics Championships, but came under intense pressure with speculation as to whether she was actually a woman. A person like Caster Semenya, who was born with aspects of both male and female anatomy, is called intersex. Being intersex, sometimes mistakenly referred to as hermaphrodite, is far more common than you may think. As many as 1 in 100 of us fit the profile. Ali Russell spoke with 2 intersex Australians about their experiences.
My child got a front row seat to something that has only happened to probably less than 100 people on the planet in this generation. His daddy performed a really, really good magic trick. He turned into a girl before his very eyes.
I pretty much see myself as kind of in the middle. For all intents and purposes, I'm female. I'm not very female.
My name is Zoe Brain and I'm 51. I'm a PhD student and sometime rocket scientist. I have a rare intersex condition which is not well understood, and I grew up looking like a boy. I was 47 when something very, very strange happened, and I started feminizing. There was the change in the chest and so on. My body hair diminished, certain organs atrophied, shrank, became dysfunctional. Things which had been external and which had been that way since after birth, retracted internally. Within a few months, the diagnosis had been changed from a very mildly intersexed male to an extremely intersexed woman.
My name's Natalie and I'm 23. I grew up in Sydney. I guess I wasn't really interested in what the girls were doing or what the boys were doing. I didn't really fit in with anybody. When I was 16, I still hadn't had my period, and my breast hadn't developed at all. So Mum took me to a gynecologist. I was told that I was probably a late bloomer. So when I was 20, that was when I realised, hang on, this isn't kind of happening. I started looking online and kept searching for about a year. I read about intersex on Wikipedia. I thought, you know, I fit all the criteria for it, specifically Swyer syndrome. So I went to an endocrinologist. The ultrasound showed that my ovaries were very, very small and undeveloped. So basically that's why I haven't gone through puberty. I got a female anatomy, but the ovaries were supposed to generate estrogen and they didn't, so here I am.
I'd had a life, I'd had a career, I'd had a marriage, and I'd had a child. And suddenly all of that was thrown into doubt. If this was a movie, if this was fiction, we'd both discover that we were actually lesbian. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Neither of us are. We still love each other just as much. There's rather more to marriage than just sex.
Without the internet, I wouldn't have known anything. I would have been just in the dark. It's easier to talk about it with strangers than people I already know.
I first heard about Natalie on her weblog, and the more she wrote, the more impressed I was with her as a human being. I mean, she was just a teenager. At least with me, I was in my 40s when I had to deal with this.
I hope that my meeting with Zoe will help me feel like I'm, I don't know, part of a community. It'll be good to finally meet another intersexed person. This is the first one I actually know, and I'm quite nervous.
We meet at last. Hello. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's very nice to meet you at last.
Oh, I love the hair.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, God. So nice to know that we're not actually alone.
We're more common than most people would think. Not just 1 in every 3 million children or something. It's, you know, more like 1 in 100.
Okay, mine is 1 in a million, 1 in several million. But these things, they're not really, really rare. They happen.
I pretty much see myself as genderless. What my body is what I am. Like, kind of leaning towards female, but kind of in the middle. For some people, it's just really hard to think of anything but male and female. It's just that there are some people that aren't either. We're not, you know, freaks or anything.
Oh, well, you're not.
Well, it depends on the definition of freak.
Okay, fair
We're not
enough.
freaks in the bad sense.
No. We're not some funny religious cult or philosophical movement. We have biological anomalies. We're a variation on the human species, like people with red hair.
I definitely think that people should know more about it because they might make less of a joke about it, like, ha ha ha, hermaphrodite sort of thing. We exist and we aren't so rare. I hope that people just see that we're out there.
Thanks to Zoe and Natalie for sharing their experiences with us.
And on our website, you can find a further story about the gender reassignment surgeries performed on intersex babies. It is one of the most important issues intersex people face, so please take a look. And at the end of the show, you can join Zoe, Natalie and intersex expert Dr. Milton Diamond in an online forum at the Hungry Beast website. However, the forum is only available to New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania and South Australia. Queensland, WA and Territorians, we love you, but the time zones don't. Damn time zones.
I'll have to stop you there. We now have the latest on the Clark-Bingle friction. Bob.
Thanks, Dan. We've seen this footage of Lara Bingle's balcony, but now with the aid of KFC Hotspot, we can show you exactly how long the friction has lingered around their luxury apartment. Plus, this indistinct blob suggests a supernatural presence. It is possible Lara's been carrying on another relationship with the ghost of Don Bradman.
Well, we all know she likes cricketers.
Meet US President Barack Obama, or as the Secret Service knows him, Renegade. When he visits us next week, he won't be travelling light. Air Force One, the President's Boeing 747 jet, has a gym, an operating theatre and radiation shielding in case of a nuclear blast. A second 747, filled with staff and media, flies behind it, along with cargo planes carrying a fleet of helicopters. Obama's personal chopper is Marine One, fitted with flares to confuse heat-seeking missiles. The rest are identical decoys for camouflage. The planes also carry all food and water for the trip, plus his road transport, including 2 5-ton bulletproof Cadillac DeVilles and 30 other motorcade cars. King of Obama's road is the Beast, a steel-armoured, bulletproof, bomb-proof limo with a night vision camera, pump-action shotguns, puncture-proof tyres and a tear gas cannon. The Beast has its own respiration system in case of chemical attack. The driver's door opens only 3 inches and the armoured petrol tank fills with foam if the car is hit to stop it exploding. The President travels with a private phone system, so no matter what country he's in, he can direct dial the US, unlike those around him. When Obama visited Downing Street last year, everyone, even guest chef Jamie Oliver, whose wife was due to give birth, had to check their mobiles at the door. The President has an entourage of 500 people, including 200 Secret Service staff, the White House chef, who once won Iron Chef America, a military officer carrying America's nuclear missile launch codes, sniffer dogs, and a 6-member military-trained medical team, including a surgeon, which stays outside the presidential kill zone, keeping supplies of Obama's blood type on hand. Rarely more than a body length away is personal aide Reggie Love, an ex-basketballer who keeps the president in Nicorette gum and throat lozenges and dials his BlackBerry for him. They say the price of freedom is eternal vigilance, but for the US president, the price of vigilance is hundreds of millions of dollars, and Barack Obama is far from free. The president's visit, a tall man, a short trip, a huge carbon footprint, the biggest show in town.
Every 10 seconds, a massive hunk of ice falls into the sea. Global warming or just shoddy workmanship. Whatever it is, there's no question our sea levels are on the rise. Within just 10 years, our backyards could all look like this. Well, this is just a hypothetical, or is it? Well, yes, it is. But one man believes he has a solution to stop this problem becoming unhypothetical.
It's basic displacement theory. If we're serious about getting sea levels to drop, we must remove everything from the ocean.
Dr. Larry Maldorf believes removing all fish, whales and other living creatures from the sea is the first step to avoiding environmental disaster.
The science doesn't lie. Give me your glass of water. If I put this octopus into the glass, the water level rises. Take it out, it goes down.
Dr. Maldorf says he hopes to have the ocean completely emptied by 2020. But despite his passion, Dr. Maldorf's proposal has been dismissed by soundbite experts.
It's inhumane, it's impractical, and it's utterly absurd.
But what do experts know? They'll tell you anything if you pay them enough.
What I said before was wrong.
But perhaps the final word should come at the end of this sentence.
I've come up against knockers all my life, but I stand by my green credentials. The evidence speaks for itself.
But why stop at marine life when you could also take out clay pigeons? At Gonna Go, sessions are just $89. Gonna Go, because shootings aren't always bad news. Oh!
$0. The average total wealth of women aged 18 to 35 in the United States of America, taking into consideration both assets and debts. $1 million. The average amount less than a woman can expect to earn over a lifetime in Australia. $1,328,200,000. The estimated price of Australian defence munitions currently thought to be useless or not ready for battle.
That's it for Hungry Beast right now, but don't forget you can catch more stories on our website every day, including some videos you've made.
Last week, we asked you to make a video of a public apology on behalf of someone who really should be making one.
We got some pretty great videos. This one's called Plastic. It's from Tansy Gardam. And we also got another great one called An Apology from a Red-Headed Ex-Politician by Ian Anderson.
But our pick of the week, and to earn $1,000, was the Verichip infomercial by Greg Nicoletos. It looks into plans to microchip humans in the same way local councils do with cats and dogs. Here's a taste.
So let me explain what it is we do here. Some people say our microchips cause cancer. Ha 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 ha! None of that is true. So stop calling me a liar. Allow me to demonstrate with Mr. Tinkles, the monkey that lives in my pants. Now hold still.
And you can see Greg's full video on our website under Viewer Video of the Week.
Next week, we want to know what you would do if you had 2 minutes with Obama, or pretty much anything else that's on your mind.
You can upload your video to our website, make it on a video camera, a mobile phone, a webcam, whatever. We don't mind, as long as it's good.
And don't forget, right now at the Hungry Beast website, you can participate in our intersex forum, unless, of course, you're in the Northern Territory, Queensland or Western Australia, in which case, I'm sorry, you've missed it.
Blame time zones.
But you can still go there and check out the comments.
We'll see you there.
Good night.
Good night.
Coming up next week on Hungry Beast, we examine the reason behind the love of red T-shirts by protesters in Thailand.
ยอมครับผมเพราะว่าบอกทั้งลูกทั้งเมียหมดแล้วครับว่าถ้าเป็นไรไปทางเนี้ยขอให้จัดการเลยครับยอมมาแล้วครับเขาจะขู่ยังไงแล้วก็สู้ครับ
Hot potato, hot potato.
And we explore the exciting new...
I think you've crossed a line there. We all need to remember there are boundaries that we, the media, must honour. So I ask you all, please respect the privacy of the Aston Martin. Let's give the car the space it needs to deal with this shock.